Call to order the Public Improvement Commission, Thursday, September 1st, 2016. Public hearing continued, number 1, on a joint petition by Cronin Holdings LLC and the Boston Redevelopment Authority for the discontinuance of any and all rights to travel the public may have had within a portion of Seaport Boulevard, South Boston, located on its northeasterly side between B Street and Pier 4 Boulevard / East Service Road. New business, August 4th, 2016. Public hearing, August 18th, 2016, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Discontinuance Plan, Seaport Boulevard, South Boston, one sheet dated May 25th, 2016. Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Commissioner, members of the board. John Polgini on behalf of Cronin Holdings. We're here at this point to ask for a continuance. As you guys are well aware, Mr. Hesford is not present with us this morning, and if you remember from the previous meetings before you, the traffic plan and the traffic flow is very much vital to what you guys have to make a decision based upon. So due to that, we would like his opportunity to weigh in on that. We did update some plans and have sent them over to him, but I don't know that he's had the opportunity to take a look at them. So based upon that, we would respectfully request a continuance.
He has them in his possession, BTD?
He does.
Okay.
What about the issue with the KV line, 115 KV line?
So we have a representative from Eversource with us today. He could speak to that better, but the building structure itself does not extend into the KV line. Here's the KV line. We're over here. So Eversource has established some sort of buffering between that, and also with respect to any sort of cantilever, it has to be a certain height. We're well above the height, so there could be any sort of maintenance.
No, that's good. That allows them to maintain it, but the issue still remains that in order for them to maintain it, they need a permit. Today, they need a permit from Boston Public Works Department and Boston Transportation. In the future, if we discontinue the property, they'll need a permit from the owner of the property.
Good point, but we're not discontinuing that part of the parcel.
Is there, you guys need no permanent easement in any portion of the discontinuance area?
It's Rick Ciaffoni from Eversource Electric. We're working with the Cronin Group. The transmission line is outside of the discontinuance because they're only going partially into where Old Northern Ave was. There is some distribution facilities in the to-be discontinued property that we're working with the Cronin Group to either have it relocated or an easement granted. We've been working with them on a regular basis. We have no issues with the discontinuance, provided we just relocate the distribution lines.
Okay, but to Steve's point, we cannot move forward on this action until either the line has been moved or the easement has been granted.
Yeah, I'm glad that the big line is outside.
Correct,
That's
yeah.
good. That's the money line.
It's a big number line, right?
The other stuff, I mean, I'd like this to be resolved before we discontinue it, because if we discontinue it, then you don't have any options. And it'd be up to Eversource, to make sure that you push this. What the Cronin Group.
We can discontinue it.
Yeah, and Amy's right, that we can't discontinue it, because we gave rights to Eversource to be there. We can't take their rights away without some kind of an agreement.
So it needs to
being
be
made.
declared private, granted an easement, or moved before we do it.
That's right.
And would an agreement to move it suffice for this board?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
As long as it doesn't have to be.
Agreement between both parties.
Yeah, as long as both parties sign it, that's fine.
Because I think that would be everybody's, would be in everybody's best interest to actually move it rather than grant an easement.
Sure.
Eversource concurs with that.
That's fine. You don't have to physically move it. You can have an agreement that says that you'll move it.
That's correct.
All right? That would be good.
Thank you, Commissioner Shea. So Eddie has it in his possession. Will 2 weeks be enough time?
We hope so.
Should be. Okay. I entertain a motion to postpone public hearing, continued item number 1 until Thursday, September 15th.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Public hearing continued item number 2 on a joint petition by Cronin Holdings LLC and the Boston Redevelopment Authority for the vertical discontinuance of a portion of Seaport Boulevard, South Boston, located on its northeasterly side between B Street and Pier 4 Boulevard / East Service Road, vertically above the grade of the sidewalk, New business, August 4th, 2016. Public hearing, August 18th, 2016, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Vertical Discontinuance Plan, Seaport Boulevard, South Boston, one sheet dated May 25th, 2016. Morning again.
Good morning, Mr. Commissioner. Echo the same things we did before. It's all part of the same project. It's the same discontinuance area. So we would, again, with respect to this, respectfully request a continuance for 2 weeks.
Understood. I will entertain a motion to continue public hearing, continued item number 2 until Thursday, September 15th.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Public hearing, continued item number 3 on a joint petition by Northam Park Realty Trust and J Mass 2 LLC for the abandonment of any and all rights to travel the public may have had within a portion of Northam Park, private way open to public travel, Dorchester, from a point 60 feet northwest of Dorchester Avenue to its northwesterly terminus at the MBTA Red Line. New business, August 4th, 2016. Public hearing, August 18, 2016, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Abandonment Plan, Northam Park, a private way open to public travel, Dorchester, one sheet dated August 1st, 2016. Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. My name is Kevin Cloutier from the Cloutier Law Firm. We're in West Roxbury. I represent Stephen Connolly, the developer. The primary issue with this matter is we're seeking to abandon a paper street which runs through the lot where we're proposing an 18-unit multifamily. The commission addressed the issue of fire access in and out. What I'd be requesting today is to continue this hearing out till October 6th so that we can get the plans released from BRA, which we're close to doing, and allow inspectional services, including fire, to do their full review. So when we come back, hopefully we'll have all of those matters addressed for the commission's consideration.
Great. Okay, having said that, I will entertain a motion to continue public hearing, continued item number 3 until Thursday, October 6th.
Second.
First? So moved.
All in favor? So moved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cloutier.
October.
6th, yep, 10/6/16. Public hearing item number 1 on a petition by Podium Owner LP for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement adjacent to Causeway Street, Boston proper, located on its northwesterly side from Haverhill Street / Legends Way to a point approximately 100 feet southwesterly of Friend Street. New business, August 18, 2016, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Pedestrian Easement Plan, 50-150 Causeway Street, Boston, one sheet dated August 9th, 2016. Morning.
Good morning. Kevin Sheehan on behalf of the developer of this project, which is a joint venture between Boston Properties and Delaware North. This project is on the site of the old Boston Garden and is part of the original master plan that was conceived with the construction of the new TD Garden North Station, which happened in the 90s. The old Boston Garden was demolished thereafter, and since that time was used as a player parking lot on Causeway Street. Is now part of this redevelopment into a major mixed-use project of up to 1.8 million square feet, including retail, office, residential, and hotel uses, and an expansion of the parking, below-grade parking as well. As I said, was subject of the original master plan associated with the project, has been through extensive review with the BRA and the other city agencies. The design was approved through the BCDC process, and the project also includes multiple public benefits, including the provision of a grocery store space to this neighborhood, as well as a new center entrance from Causeway Street, which you can see on this next rendering, into North Station as well as a connection between the commuter station and the subway station, a below-grade connection between the two stations, as well as the sidewalk improvements, which we are here to talk about today. The sidewalks have been coordinated with the Connect Historic Boston project, which was approved last year, 2 years ago. And so we're executing our plan in conjunction with that approval, and that's what we're here to present today.
Good morning, members of the commission. I'm Howard Mosier with VHB. Our first request for approval is for a pedestrian easement, 2,296 square feet. This pedestrian easement will allow for the construction of a 9-foot, 3-inch wide unobstructed concrete walkway for pedestrians.
The proposed overhang that's on this easement plan, pedestrian plan, are they on the specific repair plan also?
The width.
You have two proposed overhangs. Are they on the specific repair plan also?
Yes, they're shown in the dash line.
Okay, thank you.
Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition of Podium Owner LP for the acceptance of pedestrian easement adjacent to Causeway Street, all as shown on plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, pedestrian easement plan 50 to 150 Causeway Street, Boston, one sheet dated August 9, 2016.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So moved. Public hearing item number 2 on a petition by Podium Developer LLC for the making of specific repairs within Causeway Street, Boston proper, located on its northwesterly side from Haverhill Street / Legends Way to a point approximately 100 feet southwesterly of Friend Street, consisting of curb realignment, roadway, sidewalk, and pedestrian ramp reconstruction, as well as new and relocated specialty pavement, streetlights, street furniture, landscaping, traffic signal infrastructure, and groundwater recharge infrastructure. New business, August 18th, 2016, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repair Plan, 50-150 Causeway Street, Boston proper, 3 sheets dated August 10th, 2016.
Good morning, members of the commission. Same team, Howard Mosier from VHB, as the previous project. 2 weeks ago, we presented a specific repair plan that included cement concrete sidewalks, permeable pavers, planters, benches, bollards, bike racks, trash receptacles, pavement markings, pedestrian lighting, and stormwater injection wells. All shown on the plan, as presented last week. There were a couple minor formatting comments we received by the Public Improvement Commission staff, which were made. Otherwise, the general intent of the plan remains the same.
Just a point of clarification, your main entrance of Champions Road that comes to Canal Street. So if I'm going for a basketball game or a hockey game, I'll be coming out of that entrance, right? I mean,
Yes.
That's going to be a main focal entrance.
Yes.
If I'm coming from the commuter trains from Parks North through North Station, am I going to come out from the same area, or is there another exit? Which will be the primary exit if I'm coming on a train, gets off at North Station, and I want to walk towards State Street?
This
Will I
would be
coming-
the primary exit.
Okay.
There are 2
Supplemental.
existing exits, or actually 3 existing exits from North Station, which will remain
But
as
this
they
will be
are
the main.
today. But this will provide the main entrance toward the sort of city center.
So you're creating a lot of excitement there. It looks fantastic, creating a sense of a new entrance, and that entrance lines up with Canal Street. So I think it is natural that Canal Street also matches up in its look to complement the wonderful work which you all are doing. So hopefully we can continue to explore how Canal Street also looks. So when all of the ants people come out from here and then sort of coming droves from your location to the downtown, you will continue to, I suppose, will work with us to see how that corridor will look.
Absolutely.
So the proposed overhang that I just mentioned on the item before, you've shown dashed line on this plan, on the corner of Legend Way and Causeway.
Yeah, right there.
What is the overhang?
It's basically a canopy that
Where is?
comes out over to here, and out over.
I don't see any plans on the canopy. I don't see any plans on the canopy.
The canopy is on private property. It doesn't extend over the property line. The limits of the canopy are probably a foot behind the property line. They extend over the pedestrian easement. Hence, the pedestrian easement is limited to a height 10 feet above grade. So that all people have above.
Legends Way, is that private?
Legends Way, yes.
That's not a street.
All right. Thank you. I still think, I mean, we obviously did specific repair plans for Legend Way, I'm sure, for line and grade, because it's cut into Causeway Street. I mean, we still should,
It's not a street, it's a plaza.
but there's still pedestrian easement going down Legend Way for the public.
I
Not
don't,
not on Legends Way, right? I mean, that's pure private property. If I slip and fall, it is,
yeah, there's no public rights imposed by us over Legends Way
At all.
at all.
is there going to be a street name sign, anything? None?
Not from the
Actually, I should ask
Transportation Department.
you. Not, sorry, Miss Claudia.
It'll be signed, but this is not going to be a street sign from BTD saying that this is Legends Way. I'm sure they will have their own signage.
Identification
Yes.
purposes for
All right, so this
placement.
is a highly traveled public area. All right, what's the height of the overhang? How much?
On Legends Way, minimum 14, closer to 16.
All right.
It's a major loading access.
All right, what about, has MBTA taken a look at it and it's been approved?
Yeah, there's been extensive coordination with MBTA, particularly since the head house is being removed and the tunnel extended. So there's been extensive coordination with MBTA on access through and around the property above their holdings and things like that.
All right. And has transportation looked at this plan and approved it? All right.
Could you just email me the specific repair plans, please?
Absolutely.
Document signed, right, Amy?
Yes.
Chung, yeah? All right. Any members of the audience have any questions or comments at this time? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by Podium Developer LLC for making specific repairs within Causeway Street in Boston proper. Described and read at the record by the chair. Shown on the set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, specific repair plan, 50 to 150 Causeway Street in Boston proper. Plans are dated August 10th, 2016.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you, gentlemen. Public hearing item number 3, on a petition by Extenet Systems for a granted location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit within the following public ways in Boston proper. New business, August 16, 2016. Berkeley Street, north of Public Alley 420, at Public Alley 437, south of Marlborough Street. Clarendon Street, between Beacon Street and Public Alley 420, north of Public Alley 436, at Public Alley 424, south of Newbury Street. Exeter Street, at Public Alley 426, north of Boylston Street. Hereford Street, at Beacon Street, north of Public Alley 430, south of Public Alley 443. Gloucester Street, south of Public Alley 428, between Boylston Street and Public Alley 442. Fairfield Street, north of Public Alley 432, at Newbury Street, north of Public Alley 416, north of Public Alley 427. Dartmouth Street, at Public Alley 435, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, Extenet Systems, Back Bay Expansion, Proposed Conduit Installation, 6 sheets dated July 2016. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. For the record, Ricardo Souza from Prince LaBelle Thai. Also with me today is John Morrison from UC Synergetic and Paul Thurston, who's a project manager for Extenet Systems, the petitioner. And Mr. Chairman, the nature of this petition is an expansion of our existing wireless DAS network here in the city. And what we are proposing is the addition of 19 wireless DAS nodes in the BBAC jurisdiction. We currently have 18 in that same jurisdiction. These are all replacement streetlights, consistent with the design that's been approved by this commission in the past, in the sense that we are utilizing the base design and the replacement streetlight. In addition to that, we've proposed these and met with not only NAB, but also the BBAC, backed by Architectural Commission, and we received a certificate of appropriateness from the BBAC. So we've done our community outreach. And we think this is a good continuing effort of our franchise rights under the City of Boston franchise agreement that we have. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have.
I hear you say you had 18 and they're adding 19. Is that
We're
correct?
adding 19, that's correct. And I'm not sure if this is appropriate time, Mr. Chairman, but we also submitted a map in response to some of the questions that you had, just generally regarding the activity of Extenet in the city. Existing, approved, proposed. I believe that you should have a handout of the map itself that shows where all of our approved, existing, and other streetlights are in the city.
Amy, do we have a composite map that shows the new type of, when we switch the street lights, various entities might be owning street lights that are now telecommunication modules?
Do we have all of the carriers on one map?
That way, within this area,
Yep.
how many people have cut it up and how many poles have gone up? Do we have a composite map?
We do not. I
But we can work
believe
towards-
that DeWitt is attempting to
Put it all
file
together.
that map.
To do it.
They're doing it.
Yeah, we have provided KMZ files that show all of our existing locations and CAD plans as well.
Just having an ongoing concern about the infrastructure change, how it will all look with it as a common standard to how the infrastructure looks, plus the
course.
continuing cutting, because I've noticed some of your cuts are not the micro trench, you are doing the full conduit.
Traditional cuts, yeah. You know, what we're trying to do is as you can see with many of our petitions, and if you look at our total activity, the traditional trenches are 4,409 feet for all of our projects, and micro trench is 6,275. And so micro trenching actually exceeds the traditional trenching that we've done. And that's been, a progression throughout the hearings that we've had with this commission.
I appreciate that.
Of course.
But for this petition here, they're for the manhole to streetlight digs.
These are traditional. For this particular 19, these are traditional. These are fairly short in length. None of them are longer than 102. 102 is the longest.
So, and they're all from the manhole to the streetlight.
That's correct. That's correct.
Can I ask a hypothetical question?
Of course.
Take, for example, BBX 045, which runs from Public Alley 443 to the pole at the corner of Boylston. Right? If that pole at Boylston is currently being fed through an overhead, right? What does Extenet do? Does it? I'm assuming work has to be done to fix the conduit because the power is running to or from that light pole from another one. Is the objective to replace that pole and fix the conduit, or just to put the pole in and?
So I'm going to defer to Paul Thurston on that, since he's the project
Just a
manager.
hypothetical
He'll deal with-
situation.
Right, so, and it's very hypothetical, because there's a lot of different answers depending where the feed is coming from.
Right.
If that pole may be getting fed from the alternate pole, whereas we would bring a new feed to that pole and disconnect that aerial wire. We
Okay.
work closely with the street
Okay.
light department on that, all aerial wire feeds to these street lights.
Right, so it depends if the power is coming to or from that pole.
Exactly.
Great, all right. But code enforcement, not code enforcement, it's student move-in day. Street lighting is involved in the process? anytime there's an overhead involved? Okay, thank you.
And just for the record, there is a city shadow with all these things.
Yes, there are on the plans. Thank you, Commissioner Moshe.
Okay. Chung?
Yes, my name is Chung Liu. I'm the counsel for this board, and I just want to clarify a couple points mentioned in the new business for XNet, and is about microtrenching. And I was told that there's we require convert from traditional dig to microtrenching. If I say that correctly, there's no requirement or 125 feet. You have to do microtrenching, or from microtrenching to traditional. It's a case by case to basis, neighborhood by neighborhood to basis. If we require one provider to do that, it's a application across the board, not just for XNet or from. It's applied to XNet, from Castle to anyone else. I just want to clarify about that.
Thank you, Chung. Any members of the audience have any questions or comments at this time? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by XNet Systems for grants of location of lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit in a number of streets in the Back Bay, as described and read and directed by the chair, and shown on the set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Atlantic Location Plan for XNet Systems in the Back Bay expansion. 6 sheets are dated July 2016.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Public hearing item number 4, on a petition by XNet Systems for a grant of location to install telecommunication infrastructure on replacement city streetlight poles within the following public ways in Boston proper. New business, August 18, 2016. Berkeley Street, north of Public Alley 420, south of Public Alley 437, and south of Marlborough Street. Clarendon Street, between Beacon Street and Public Alley 420, north of Public Alley 436, south of Public Alley 424, and south of Newbury Street. Exeter Street, south of Public Alley 426, north of Boylston Street. Hereford Street, south of Beacon Street, north of Public Alley 430, between Boylston Street and Public Alley 443. Gloucester Street, south of Public Alley 428, between Boylston Street and Public Alley 442. Fairfield Street, north of Public Alley 432, south of Newbury Street, north of Public Alley 416, north of Public Alley 427. Dartmouth Street, north of Public Alley 435, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, XNet Systems, Back Bay Expansion, Proposed Streetlight Nodes, 20 sheets dated July 2016. Morning
Morning
again.
again, Mr. Chairman. Once again, for the record, the same team on behalf of XNet Systems, the petitioner, and these are the concurrent dig petitions associated with the 19 new replacement streetlight nodes that we're proposing in the Back Bay Architectural Commission. And these digs do involve the city shadow, and they're...
It's the other way around. These are the poles.
Yeah, first one was the dig, these are the poles.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I didn't have the petition in front of me. And so these petitions will continue to be the same design as we have utilized in the past, whereby we are utilizing in this petition just Boston streetlights. These are all replacement poles. They are consistent with the same design that's been approved in the past, utilizing the base cabinet in each of the 19, so that our radio cabinets are inside of that base cabinet. And the design has also been approved by the BBAC and NAB, and we have a certificate of appropriateness for this design.
I just had a question about, where does that, a certain part of the city has been franchised to you, I guess we'd call it, there's something else maybe,
Yes,
you can explain that maybe better than I can.
I sure can. So the franchise agreement allows us to go in any parts of the city. So we just happen to be focused, if you look at our map and where our nodes are, we happen to be focused in sort of, I would say, the downtown area, North End, Beacon Hill, Back Bay, Fenway. That seems to be our area. And if you look at some of the other providers, they're focused on areas outside of these core areas. And so the carriers, I think, informally cover different parts of the city.
So this has got to be your area?
It has been, yes. This is where our customers have asked us to focus our efforts.
Are there other providers providing similar service within this area, to the best of your knowledge?
So there is, I represented a petitioner that came before this commission, ATC Outdoor DAS, which is American Tower, which is close to this area. It was all along Newbury Street and Boylston Street, but not as far into the BBAC and not in the other areas that we are covered. In addition to that, they had a different technology. They didn't have a full DAS system. They had a wireless Wi-Fi DAS, and I don't believe they're developing any new nodes, and they haven't been, at least in the last 2 or 3 years.
But the franchise agreement doesn't limit you to this area.
That's right, Mr. Moshe. It does not limit us to this area, and I think
Or
that's
anybody else.
that's right. And I think that's why it's helpful for you to create the comprehensive KMZ that you're developing.
What happens to the other parts of the city, High Park and Mattapan?
Yeah, I believe
know
those.
any-
I believe those are being developed. I think it's an incremental process.
Okay.
Yeah.
I imagine they all have the same provider in them. Their provider is requesting that they each do
Yeah.
a neighbor,
Okay, I just,
if that were the scenario.
Yeah. It's all driven by.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Good, good.
take everybody else. Someday I'd like to talk with someone that knows a lot more about it than I do, and they can explain it to me, but.
Then you can explain it.
I don't wanna sit here, I don't wanna sit here till lunchtime.
Right.
Exactly.
Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition of Exonet Systems for the grant of location to install telecommunication infrastructure on replacement streetlight poles within the following streets: Berkeley Street, Clarendon Street, Exeter Street, Hereford Street, Gloucester Street, Fairfield Street, and Dobbin Street, all read into the record by the chair and shown on plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, grant of location plan, Exonet Systems Back Bay expansion, proposed street nodes, 20 sheets dated July 2016.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you.
Commissioners.
Public hearing item number 5 on a petition by the Crown Castle NG East LLC for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit at 2 locations within Commonwealth Avenue, Boston proper, located at Carlton Street at the Town of Brookline boundary and east of address 855. New business, August 18, 2016, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department. Engineering Division, grant of location plan, Crown Castle, Roxbury District 10, Carlton Street, Commonwealth Avenue, 1 sheet dated August 2016. Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Kosta Jovanovic. I'm the Government Relations Manager for Crown Castle. With me this morning is Rich Shepard, Project Manager, Joanna Stowell, our engineer from VHB, and Kathleen Sarnacchiaro, who is a Government Relations Specialist with Crown Castle. We're here this morning. The first item is our 2 additional conduits that will support our network in the Commonwealth Avenue area, also supporting Boston students at Boston University. The one trench is conventional, and the other trench is a micro trench.
Which is the micro trench, the longer one on Commonwealth Avenue?
This one here.
That's micro trench?
Yes.
The limits of that, is that north of the, over the bridge, the Bayou Bridge?
It's not, it doesn't go over the bridge.
So which part is this? Is this between the bridge and Kenmore Square?
The bridge is on this side. So it
Okay.
comes- this location is right at the bridge.
So that is south of the bridge?
Correct.
South,
West.
west, sorry.
Yeah. And this work will be coordinated with the Department of Mass DOT, of course.
Because they have a construction project that's coming up.
So the plans that you have, everything are the same plans they have? The underground utilities that,
Yes.
so you use their up-to-date plans?
Yes.
They got a lot of stuff moving around everywhere, and, there's a lot of new stuff in the ground. I just want to make sure that,
Understood. And they will be required, I mean, we're gonna they require that our plans get fully reviewed so that we can make sure that this coordinated effort.
Thank you.
What's the smaller dig? How long is that?
That one is 178 feet because of the location and direction. It's be very challenging to do micro trench because of that long corner. We have to make. You can only cut straight lines.
I kind of looked at that with a little skepticism, that you could dig around, that you could install something at almost a semicircle.
Yeah, it's doable. It's definitely doable with conventional trenching. Micro trenching would be very, very difficult.
So the plan is to get in before the MassDOT project?
In coordination with. I
Okay.
don't think we're gonna. I mean, it's difficult to say the timing at this point, but I mean, it really will depend on their acceptance of our plans.
Okay. Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC for grant of location, lead company status, and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit at 2 locations within Commonwealth Avenue, Boston proper, located at Carlton Street and east of address 855, as shown on the plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division. Grant location plan for Crown Castle, Roxbury District 10, Carlton Street, Com Ave. The sheet was dated August 2016.
Second.
All in favor? So moved. Public hearing item number 6 on a petition by the Crown Castle NG East LLC for a grant of location to install new telecommunication infrastructure on 2 replacement city streetlight poles within Commonwealth Avenue, Boston proper, located at Carlton Street at the town of Brookline boundary and east of address number 855. New business, August 18, 2016, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, Roxbury, District 10, DAS nodes on PWD street lighting structures, Carlton Street, Commonwealth Avenue, 1 sheet dated August 2016. Morning again, Costa.
Good morning again. For the record, Costa Jovanovic with Crown Castle. This item covers 2 nodes that will be the final 2 in our Commonwealth Avenue project. Both of them are the pendant-style streetlights that are on, with equipment mounted in the base as we have submitted and gotten approval for in the past.
I think Power's going to have you repeat final 2 on Com Ave project.
That's correct.
Right?
At this time.
Yes.
Pastor, just when you replace poles, can you walk me through exactly how that poles get replaced? So today I have a city-owned streetlight pole, then something happens, time passes by, and one of your poles come up. But in between, is there a possibility of me seeing our old streetlight pole and your pole? And if so, how long do they stay there?
The overlap is so that we don't take the old pole out of service, so that it still provides the light. We leave it until we get the electrical inspection completed on the new pole.
By whom?
City of Boston wire inspector, and then Eversource has to.
No, City of Boston's wire inspector, not the City of Boston streetlight team members. The two different families.
Correct. Yeah. We've actually done, the inspections are performed by the wire inspector.
It's a new service, so that
Anytime there's a service from the company, the electrical inspector has to.
So, do you have a time standard for the work to be done, recognizing that we all try to get things done as soon as possible? Who keeps track of whether something has fallen through the cracks or whether there are 2 lights up there for better lighting purposes, but then it doesn't, we don't want a double pole situation. You heard that story. So, what are your standards?
The standards are, it typically takes 2 weeks for the wire, once the permit is called in, and Eversource typically turns the service connections around in 72 hours. So at that point, I'd estimate the double pole would last probably 2 or 3 weeks.
Is there someone in your family that keeps on top of the situation?
Absolutely. I mean, our general contractors are incentivized to finish the job because that's when they're going to get paid. And
part of the job is removing the old pole. So that's one set, and we're also, we're out on site on these on a consistent basis, so that once the work is complete, we take the old pole down.
So if we see any, we should bring them to your attention?
You can.
Okay, great. Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition of Crown Castle Energy East LLC for the granted location to install new telecommunication infrastructure on 2 replacement city light poles on Coram Ave as read to the record by the chair and shown on plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division granted location plan Roxbury District 10 roads on Public Works Department street light structures. One sheet dated August 2016.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So moved. Public hearing item number 7, on a petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC for a granted location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit within Northern Avenue, South Boston, located southeast of Fanpare Boulevard. New business, August 18, 2016, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Granted Location Plan, Crown Castle, South Boston Network Expansion, 2 sheets dated August 2016.
Good morning again. This is the one of the final nodes in the South Boston network. And we can refer to this one as number 184 out of 188. That will be the total of our applications in 2016. This is a conventional trench.
Yeah, so I can speak to that. We had originally proposed this as a micro trench and then worked with we had a coordination meeting with WS Development that is working in that area. And they're planning a full reclaim of that street, so the micro trench option would not be viable because we can't maintain depth.
Can you amplify it? When you say when you say they are going to do a full depth reconstruction, you mean who? WS?
Well, they're in coordinated effort with their developer to.
Amy, sorry. Ancillary thought pattern. Once all the buildings come up in the South Boston area, who is getting tagged with rebuilding the streets? If we don't know, then we need to work on it, because right now I don't think it is.
It depends on the street, a variety of people in a variety of different places.
Since that is not a viable option, we don't want 20 contractors doing it. There needs to be a central body or someone that's going to take care of these streets, because everyone trying to get their utility connections and on building constructions has torn our streets up.
Yeah.
So someone has to step up to the plate.
Agreed.
Okay.
Okay. Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC for grant of location, lead company status, and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit on Northern Ave in South Boston, located southeast of Fanpare Boulevard. Shown on the set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, grant of location plan, Crown Castle, South Boston Network Expansion. Sheets are dated August 2016.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Public hearing item number 8, on a petition by the Crown Castle NG East LLC for a grant of location to install new telecommunication infrastructure on a replacement city streetlight pole within Northern Avenue, South Boston, located on its northeasterly side, southeast of Fanpare Boulevard. New business, August 18, 2016, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, South Boston DAS nodes on PWD street lighting structures, Northern Avenue, 1 sheet dated August 2016.
Good morning once again, Kosta Jovanovic for Crown Castle. This is the pole that will accompany the conduit that we just spoke of. It's going to be a double Fort Point style fixture with equipment in the base. The street lighting department has given approval for the design, but we're still waiting for the components to arrive so we can assemble the prototype and make sure that that we have the satisfaction of the street lighting director.
Is this the first double Acorn 4-point?
No.
No.
We've done these before.
Okay.
Double 4-point nautical style.
Okay.
Is there a current street light at that corner? I don't recall seeing one, or is this a new one? There's a replacement.
Okay. Obviously, in communication with Mr. Yetman and Mr. Sullivan at Street Lighting and just awaiting approval?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion contingent on Mr. Yetman and Mr. Sullivan's approval of this design.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition of Crown Castle NG East LLC for the granted location to install a new telecommunication infrastructure on a replacement streetlight pole within Northern Ave. All is shown on plan titled City of Boston Public Works Department. Granted location, plan South Boston, DAS notes on Public Works streetlights. One sheet dated August 20th with the street lighting from Josh.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Public hearing item number 9 on a petition by the City of Boston Transportation Department for the making of specific repairs within the following intersections consisting of curb realignment, roadway, sidewalk, and pedestrian ramp reconstruction, as well as new and relocated traffic signal infrastructure, August 18, 2016. Washington Street at Waltham Street, Boston proper, Pleasant Street, Stoughton Street, Thornley Street, Whitby Terrace, Dorchester, Cummins Highway, Rockdale Street, Rexford Street, Dorchester, Bennington Street, Marion Street, London Street, East Boston, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repair Plan, Waltham Street at Washington Street, Pleasant Street at Stoughton Street, Cummins Highway at Rockdale Street, Bennington Street at London and Marion Street, 4 sheets dated July 26, 2016. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, members of the commission. My name's Jim Gillooly. I'm with the Boston Transportation Department, and we were here 2 weeks ago to present under new business some good progress that we've made in getting some upgrades to signals around the city and some actual new installations. We currently are positioned to utilize $3.5 million in federal and state aid to upgrade and newly install signals at a total of 9 intersections, 4 of which involve curb relocations. And so we're here today for purposes of seeking your approval for the designs that we've come up with for those 4 intersections as were noted in the actual request. I have with me here today Don Burgess from the Transportation Department's Engineering Group. Mark Gravelisi and Dan Nelson are both here as our consultant from Howard Stein Hudson. And I would ask at this point for Mark Gravelisi to present the 4 plans and show you specifically the curb relocations that we're looking for your approval on.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Okay, at Waltham Street and Washington Street, we're adding traffic signals that are not there today. Adding a crosswalk on the easterly intersection. Currently it's a 3-leg cross, it'll become a 4-leg crossing. And we are adding bump outs to decrease the pedestrian distance, crossing distance and crossing time. They're all brick sidewalks. They're going to be replaced with wire cut brick, and at the request of the Landmarks Commission and coordinated with the Mayor's Commission for Persons with Disabilities, the ramps will be cement concrete with a brick level landing. Do you have any questions on this intersection?
The bump outs on Waltham Street have they been approved by Public Works Department? I mean, they're quite large.
Yes, they have. Yes.
Okay.
We reviewed all of these, and I just want to make sure that And we made comments. The comments were addressed. We sent another letter yesterday with a couple of minor comments. They're not going to hold up anything. We had specifically requested, Jim, that the contractor set up a pre-con with our construction division. We'd like to have people out there because there's a lot of relocation of catch basins, and we like to keep tabs on all of that, but
So it's in the contract documents, the coordination with Boston Water and Sewer is required, and it will be a MassDOT construction project, so they'll be hosting the pre-con.
oh, yeah.
And
I mean,
I'll make sure you get an invite.
well, yeah, but we specifically, because there's so much relocation of our facilities, it's typical for us to require that the contractor have a pre-con with us. It's a shop meeting, and then he submits the shop drawings, and then we're on the same page, we know where they're going. And that way, we're able to make sure that where everything goes, we take a good look at it. It's real important here because when they did the original reconstruction of Washington Street years ago, there was some drainage, some of the drainage patterns were moved, and the contractor did not construct them correctly. And if you walk around there after a rainstorm, there's a lot of ponding on some of these intersections because the contractor didn't follow the specific, contours of those intersections. Some of it's been fixed till then, but we just want to make sure that, I think these plans are going to help. So we just want to make sure that, Jim, that would be helpful to us.
Dan, do we have a specific reference to have a Boston Water and Sewer pre-con meeting in the contract documents? No. We can just add
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
We'll add it in.
We sent the letter over to you, so you'll have it in writing from us. We sent it over yesterday.
Jimmy, this is part of the TIP project, right?
Correct.
So since Don, will you be the liaison for the resident engineer from BDD?
Yes.
Okay. Don, just make sure, because other TIP projects, some of our public works will be doing the liaison meetings. Since this is on traffic signal stuff, you will need to make sure that whoever the RA, that Mass DOT tags, that you make sure that Steve's stuff is looked after.
Yes. Okay, we'll move on.
Want to the next one? Sure.
Okay, Pleasant and Stoughton, a lot of the same. The curb relocation is due to pedestrian amenities that we're trying to improve. So we're replacing the existing traffic signals, we're adding crosswalks. There's a singular apex ramp at the northerly corner of Pleasant and Stoughton that is going to be perpendicular ramps requiring the widening. And then there's widening of sidewalk on the southerly side as well to install compliant curb ramp, and widening of the sidewalk at Pleasant Street and Whitby Terrace to add crosswalk that's currently not there. The crosswalk would be too skewed without pushing the sidewalk out, so we're just all in the benefit of improving pedestrian amenities.
I still want to go back to the bump outs. What type of signage do you put up on them? I mean, they tend to, if they're that large, they tend to be dangerous. If people come down the street, we'll hit them unless there's proper signage. Is there any type of reflective signage going out there? Indicate that the bump out is out there? Where is the signage?
I don't think there's signage,
You're showing something, I don't know what it is.
anything there's equipment that would be within the bump out or in that area.
Rick?
Anything vertical with this?
There's signs on it.
I look at the left side of each handicap ramp, then Waltham Street on the north side. Right, see the bump out, you see on the edge of the handicap ramp, what's that? Is that a sign?
Those are signs right there.
They are signs.
Yeah,
Yes.
signs.
They're reflective. So
Traffic signal equipment flanking.
Yes. Right, yeah.
So there'd be traffic signal equipment flanking those handicap ramps. There needs to be push buttons within reach of those ramps.
Yeah. And it's all to MassDOT standard for the reflective signs that are current.
Okay.
You're welcome. All right. Any questions on Pleasant and Stoughton?
I asked at new business if this in any way, shape, or form affects the school buses. I know there's a drop-off area. No? Okay, great. The Edward Everett School.
Cummins and Rockdale, we're replacing the existing traffic signals. We're replacing the apex ramp at the southwesterly corner. Perpendicular ramps are causing us to remove the existing traffic median island. That's coming out, and pretty straightforward intersection signal improvement here at this location. And the last intersection on the agenda is in East Boston. This is Bennington at London and Marion. Right now, it is unsignalized and it's an expansive pavement. We're adding additional sidewalk and curbing to help channel the traffic into specific patterns, creating nice pedestrian crossings that are shorter and safer. Let's see. So adding the signals, we're reconfiguring the intersection. Apex ramps with, we're replacing all of the apex ramps with perpendicular ramps, and this requires relocating streetlights, and we're coordinating that accordingly with the city.
Is London Street a two-way street?
London.
Is London where the predominance of the bump outs and
London's one-way leave.
one way towards the tolls?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Away from the
Gotcha.
intersection.
Yeah.
Those are the 4 intersections.
Okay. So obviously, Mr. Shea would love to be invited to the pre-con. Any members of the audience have any questions or comments at this time? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by the City of Boston Transportation Department for making specific repairs on Washington Street in Boston proper, Pleasant Street in Dorchester, Cummins Highway in Dorchester, and Bennington Street, East Boston. It's described and read into the record by the chair and shown a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, specific repair plans for Waltham Street, Pleasant Street, Cummins Highway, and Bennington Street. 4 sheets are dated July 22nd, 2016.
Second.
All in favor? So moved. Thank you.
very much, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners.
Thank you. First item of new business, Life Street, Brighton, layout approval on a petition by Boston Landing LLC. Morning.
Morning. On behalf of Boston Landing LLC, I'm Pat Conley with Beals Associates, joined with Marty Healy from Goodwin Proctor. Just to orient you real quick, this New Balance development, you have New Balance's headquarters, with new residential buildings, sports complex, Celtics facility, and the Bruins facility. In terms of roadways, you have Guest Street, which is a public way. You have Life Street, which is a public way. And we're here for the private roadway layout of the extension of Life Street in between Guest Street and private road service driveway. So this just shows the outline of the right-of-way, the outline of the streets. And this is the design we're proposing. It'll be 12-foot wide travel lanes, 8-foot wide parking pockets on each side. The west side will have a concrete sidewalk and street trees like the surrounding streets. The west side is just going to be a 2-meter sidewalk for now until this building is designed and constructed. Drainage-wise, it drains into underground infiltration towards the north, towards the service road. And utilities are part of a temporary installation now, and permanent utilities will be installed also with the construction of that.
My apologies for what I'm going to ask. Just for my orientation purposes,
Yes.
the proximity of the new T station, isn't there a new T station coming somewhere?
On the other side of the building.
How far is it from the street? Like, no, you have a locus wonderful through
So
this.
this is the street,
Right.
and T station's down here to the west.
Okay, so this private way ends up on a service road. Is that service road connected to the future T station?
Now, the service drive comes down and
Service-
connects the
Right, so,
Brighton Street.
so if I walk down Life Street private way onto the service road, I cannot get to the T station? in the
Correct.
future?
I believe so.
You're not 100% certain. My question goes along like this. Right now, this is a private street. Amy, is it ever going to come to us for public? And we know that by how?
By the way that we write the order.
Thank you. Also, since, are you okay with 69 feet? You know, me and my round numbers issue.
Yes, I am.
Right. So, are the buildings set in concrete where they cannot adjust this to 17? Not that it matters. It's never going to come to us.
Correct. It's a whole number.
So it is not 69.3 feet.
So now, I mean, yeah, otherwise you're gonna.
All right. So the 1 foot they couldn't handle a 70-foot right of way. But it is never to come as a public street, and so you will still light it in case if there are pedestrians that go down this street. It will be lit to city standards.
Yep. Yes, it still has to meet our lighting standards, our
Lighting
accessibility
standards,
standards.
standards, all of
Yep.
And that service road is not going to connect to the T station.
Well, the farthest it can go is another private way, Arthur Street.
There's a Stop and Shop is in between us and the station.
On the
there.
back side?
Yeah, on the back side and the front, yeah. It's shown on the plan right there on the far side. So that's a
So
little piece of.
physically impossible for someone to go and use the back side of this to get to the overpass over I-90.
It could be improved, I suppose, but it's got, but
Right,
you have
yeah, I
Stop
mean,
and Shop land.
basically, the most that you'll ever get out of this is a U right back to Guest Street.
I know in the original LMI, the project was going to maintain the public rights-of-way for snow plowing and ice control and stuff. We've since taken that back, but this being a private way, this piece of that whole area will be maintained thoroughly by, Boston Landing, including snow, yeah. Yeah, we can't get into, okay. Will 2 weeks be enough time?
Yes.
All right, we will see you on September 15th for our public hearing. Thank you, Pat. Thank you. Second item of new business, 52 Melrose Street, Boston proper, specific repairs on a petition by Select 52 Melrose Street, LLC. Morning.
My name is Mark Donahoe. I'm the owner of Select 52 Melrose Street, LLC, which is also the address of the property. We're seeking to do specific repairs in order to install underneath the sidewalk a forced injection well that captures the rainwater, the storm water, and puts it back into the ground. These plans were developed after my engineer and I interacted with the Boston Water and Sewer and Amy Cording from this office. We got that direction, and that's where these plans, that's how these plans were developed. You have letters in the application from all the agencies that we've interacted with. One thing that's not in there was the formal approval from the Landmarks Commission. They gave me an email, but they since then issued a letter. I don't know if you've gotten that. Would you like a copy?
I'd love a copy, yeah. That's great.
And the only comment that the Landmarks Commission had was they would like to see, this is a brick sidewalk, and they just don't want to see concrete surrounding the manhole.
Any idea how close an observation well is to this?
I'm sorry?
Any idea where an observation well is located close to this facility?
I do not. I apologize. I do not know.
If you, Gary, we have a whole, list of the observation wells that are kept by the Groundwater Trust.
Yeah,
Map.
we were injecting here. It would be nice to have a well pretty close to it.
It probably out around this area. Yeah. I'll get you the map.
Okay. All right.
Sounds like you have approval from the regulatory agencies, which is good. Will 2 weeks be enough time?
Certainly.
Okay, we'll see you 2 weeks from today for a public hearing. Thank you, Mark. Third item of new business, various North End streets, Boston proper, grants of location on a set of petitions by Extenet Systems Incorporated.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. For the record, Ricardo Souza from Prince Beltai here on behalf of the petitioner, Extenet Systems, also John Morrison from UC Synergetics, and Paul Thurston. And Mr. Chairman, we had filed a petition for essentially 27 new nodes, 2 of which were in the north end and 25 of which are in the south end. We will, pursuant to my discussion with both Todd and Amy, we're going to break those out into 2 separate petitions, one for the north end, 2 nodes, and a separate petition for the 25 south end nodes. And I think that's why it's broken out the way it is in the new business. With respect to the 2 north end nodes, these nodes were part of our original petition back in May. We had pulled them off because of handicap access. And so we went back to the drawing board. We were able to rework one of them so that it would comply with the base design that this commission has approved. But there is one particular node that we have not been able to. It's node 31 on the petition, where we are requesting, rather than utilizing the base design, we are requesting that we install our cabinets as a pole mount on the replacement street light. And the reason is, if I could, the reason is there's a fence, an existing fence that's much too close to the actual street light itself.
It's on Hanover Street, right?
No,
it's on Endicott.
It's on Garden Court Street.
Yeah, it's off of the main street. It's not on Hanover. So it's into the neighborhood. And I do have a photo of it if I could. There you go. It shows sort of the proximity of the fence that we can't move. And, you know, there are a fair number of nodes. We received 17 approvals, and this is the only one which is not utilizing the base design in the north end.
So I have the picture here. Where would you affix the node?
So we would essentially replace that existing street light, and rather than utilize the base for our cabinets, we will pole mount the cabinets essentially above that parking sign. So the cabinet would be there.
How large is the cabinet?
The radio cabinet.
No, how large?
The other photo that you have is a pretty good representation, the one that the commissioner had from before.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good representation of what these guys are talking about.
Because again, the property on this side is at a parking lot.
It's a school.
Any way of doing this underground?
The cabinet?
Yeah.
Not that.
Invented.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of, Mr. Moshe. You know, there have been other instances, there are other existing nodes in the city that utilize the pole-mounted design. You know, we try to avoid it given the direction that this commission has given us. You know, for example, there are 25 that we're proposing in the south end, all of which are utilizing the base design. And so it's only rare circumstances where we come here asking for a waiver of that design to be able to pole mount the cabinets.
Why does it have to be this pole?
So it's a matter of propagation. It's a matter of finding adequate coverage throughout the north end that comports with the other nodes that have already been approved.
So could 2 different poles do the duty of this one pole if need be?
Not that we're aware of. Paul, I'm not sure if you worked with the radio frequency
We researched
team.
the whole area. It had to be this pole. We would have simply have moved it if we could have, but there was nothing suitable in that area. And these were approved originally by the neighborhood group as well as location.
Yes, can you speak a little bit towards the neighborhood's participation with someone agreeing this is okay to be here?
Sure.
Like, who from the north end neighborhood?
So we met with both neighborhood associations in the north end regarding these poles back in really January and February.
But this specific pole with a cabinet mounted, was that discussed with the neighborhood?
We did not go back to them with that specific design for this specific pole.
I'm sorry, so the original design did have all the equipment mounted on the pole for which we're requesting. They did approve that back in the January, February, and March timeframe. It was only after our first hearing with you, the commissioners had asked us if we could actually take the equipment off the pole and then start putting it into the base cabinet design. So this one was approved by by the neighborhood groups with the shroud on it.
Could you just double back with Maria Lanza from
Yeah, we can do
Neighborhood
that.
Services and seek her reapproval for this one?
We can do
I'd
that,
appreciate it.
Commissioner. Yeah, and as Paul suggested, that was the progression of the design. The original presentation was that all of them were actually pole-mounted, and then after coming to the first hearing here, we changed the designs to the ones that we could to base cabinets, and that's when we pulled out 4 of them that we could not accommodate and that we had to redesign. And this is one that we simply cannot do it. So we will go back to the neighborhood group and speak to them.
And I'll touch base with her in the next 2 weeks as well.
Of course. Yeah, we can do that.
But as a business model, the way you are, it would be awkward for you to put all your eggs in one basket because the city still reserves the right for this pole to be relocated, at which point you will not have access to this spot.
Right.
So as a business model, you need to have plan B with something else. So it is awkward for us to hear that you don't have a plan B.
Let's go down the avenue and try and do it right the first time. You know, why can't, is there no underground installations for this type of equipment? I mean, is it a cost factor? What is it? We put transformers underground.
Yeah.
You know, we ventilate steam lines.
The Swiss put them in manholes.
Yeah, I have not seen it, Commissioner Moshe. You know,
I'm
we,
just saying, is it a cost issue? What's the issue? Why can't we do it underground?
It just hasn't been developed yet. I mean, there is, similar to yourself, people have proposed that. There's just obviously a lot of the technical reasons to try to mount this equipment underground. They haven't found answers. They would fill up with water, or they, you know, you need pumps, you need ventilation, you need cooling, and there's been no one who has done an aftermarket design to get what we would call a communication bunker, for lack of a better term. But there's nothing out in the market to fulfill all the requirements of the heating, the cooling, and the fresh air and everything else that would be necessary, pumping of water.
The previous poles that were replaced in the north end, right? The ones that you came to us with early in the spring, those have all been constructed and installed, and no?
We haven't been able to get any permits to actually start the digs and do that work.
All right, I was just curious what the feasts may or may not have done to the equipment, and I know they draw a lot of power off the streetlight poles.
Yeah.
But that's something that's been considered when developing this model in this neighborhood? Okay.
Yes.
All right, so why don't we do this? Excuse me. You have the dimensional requirements for this equipment.
For these cabinets, yeah.
Let's put a piece of plywood up there, painted black, and ask the neighbors if they like it or not. See if you'll get the sign off from the neighborhood association at that point.
Do essentially a mock presentation. We can do that.
Okay.
We have an empty cabinet. Would you like to just hang an empty cabinet?
Yeah, we can do that. We've done it in other locations.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah. Great.
And so, Mr. Chairman, that was
That's the
first one.
item number 3.
Yes.
2 weeks will be enough time. Reach out to ONS, put up our mock, and we'll have some of our favorite North Enders walk by and see what they think.
What do you think?
Yeah, not a
Okay.
problem, I have.
All right.
You can
Thank
do it
you.
next week? Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see you on September 15th for a public hearing. New business item number 4, various South End streets, Boston proper, grants of location on a set of petitions by Extenet Systems.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this is a continuing effort to expand our wireless DAS network, but in the South End. And we did propose these 25 replacement streetlights in the South End Landmarks District Commission. We also received a certificate of appropriateness from the South End Landmarks District Commission as well for these 25 nodes. And they are, once again, all replacement streetlights. The trenching itself, a fair amount of it is micro trenching. 22,292 feet is actual micro trenching.
Can you repeat that number?
Of course, 2,292 feet is micro trenching. And so almost double is micro trenching for this particular expansion.
And you've exhausted all manholes to make sure we're tying into the closest one. I see a 429 and a 469. The longer digs, there's nothing
Yes.
closer.
Paul and John can talk to that, but they do, as a team, look at trying to shorten the digs as much as possible.
Yeah, the long digs in the south end here are basically because Verizon didn't have any systems except running up Columbus Ave. And so those are actually just going off of Columbus Ave and up to the nodes that are in that sort of park area.
Yep.
So those were the closest manholes that Verizon had for us to connect into.
These approved by our office?
Yes, everything that we've done thus far has been approved by Boston Water and Sewer.
John, if for some reason the city desires to attach any type of infrastructure, whether it's a holiday lights or a picture of me on one of these poles, purposely or about this, what rights do we have, or does the city have rights to attach city needed elements, whatever they may be, on this pole without permission from God and country?
Replacement poles are owned by us, maintained by them.
We just can't put an antenna. Christmas lights are okay. Antenna.
Can I put a secondary antenna on this pole?
Well, we are working on, we have some authority trying to pay back.
Can I put a closed circuit TV camera for transportation department's purposes? Okay.
There are interference concerns, that's the only thing that we would be concerned about.
I'm sorry?
As long as you're not interfering with the signal propagation, which you would not be on with the
I
camera.
don't know what type of radio, what type of detection systems we may be deploying in the years to come. We don't want to give up the rights which the city needs to have.
Of course.
To accommodate your industry. It needs to be the other way around. So right now, the transportation department is looking at very key and innovative ways to do detection systems, and we want to reserve the rights of that front.
Understood, Commissioner.
Okay. 2 weeks be enough time?
Yes.
Great. We'll also see you on September 15th for a public hearing.
Very good.
Thank you very much. And thank you for the
Good
packet
day.
as well. Thanks for the work on the packet.
My pleasure.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor?